E360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories, broadcasting and live streaming to millions of devices around the world, including Roku, and live streaming to Facebook Live. Also on Amazon Fire TV and to Twitch. Also Android TV and Periscope. Broadcasting to Apple TV and YouTube Live. Proudly brought to you by our host, Donna, producer and host, Michaela Vidal, host and administrator, and Jim Grant, producer and host. Proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Messages of Inspirational Stories. This week, Jim, we've been talking about sparking innovation, and today is how to create an atmosphere and create contests.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, it's very important to be able to get people involved in what you're doing. And we're going to be discussing today several ways that you can actually get people involved in following you and finding you interesting. You know, Donna and I, we're always looking for ways to provide information that's interesting to the folks out there. And, you know, sometimes it's a challenge, but whenever you're trying to build a following and you're just, another person out there, it can be a challenge. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
And Donna and I, we enjoy the challenge of being able to do that. And, today is March the 15th. It's Tuesday. And thank you, sweet Jesus. Today is the national day, the national shoe across the world today. So your National Shoe Day is today. And also World Speech Day is another national day across the world. And they've also got World Social Work. That's very important. Think about all the wonderful social workers in our lives that make our life a lot easier and our loved ones a lot easier.
That's right. We take our hat off to each and every one of you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely. And this is also, getting close to the Ides of March, the middle of March. There was a band back in the early 70s, about 1970, called the Ides of March, and their hit song was Vehicle. I know Donna's too young to remember that, but, it was the Ides of March was the name of that band. Do you remember that song, Vehicle? I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go.
No.
Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, it's called the Ides of March. That was the name of their band. And it's kind of interesting, how the Ides of March became such a standard. Do you know where it generated from?
Have no idea.
Julius Caesar.
Oh, wow.
He was warned, beware of the Ides of March, which is the middle of March, because whoever warned him, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he was executed. He was not executed, he was assassinated.
Oh, wow.
And he was warned about beware of the Ides of March. So that's how that came into play. It's the middle of March. And today is the National Day of the Ides of March.
Okay.
This next one, I don't even know if I should even go there. There's a couple of them here. One is Dumbstruck Day. I was dumbstruck. Okay. And the other one, Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to remember those days. How about you?
Right. On to something else.
There we go. Yeah. On to something more positive and production. But it's amazing how all those days get their, to get a start and they're recognized. Always look for ways. Like yesterday, it was the Tell Your Story Day, National Tell Your Story Day. That's so important.
That is. And, we're never too, again, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we are never too old and never too young to reinvent ourselves and tell our story.
Hmm. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about, ways that you can spark interest in your atmosphere and create an environment, an atmosphere that where people want to follow you and stuff like that. One
Well,
of the, go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, I was just going to say before we get into kind of the nitty gritty of it,
Okay.
one of the reasons is so important and create an atmosphere and so create some fun contests, especially in the workplace. You know what? Nobody, most no one um, is enthralled with doing the same thing every day. So when you can create a fun atmosphere and
Hmm.
make some creative contests, it really boosts the morale within your organization.
Mm.
So each department, if it's a larger corporation or something, each department can have their own contests.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun too.
Oh,
Just
it'd
to
be a
break, like you
blast.
say, break the monotony. And one of the ways, if you're wanting to get social media going or get it, maybe improve on it, I should say. And one of the ways they recommend is surprise a follower, someone that's already following you. And one of the it's a very easy contest to run. It's just to give away a prize to one of your followers once a month. You can
Right.
promote it by running an ad on Facebook that reads, click, like, and you'll automatically be eligible to win a prize every month. And then give away the prize at the beginning of every month by choosing a follower at random. Announce to all of your followers the name of the winner so they'll know that the contest is legit. And that's an easy way because getting people to click like and it automatically qualifies them to be in your drawing to win a free prize. That's really
Absolutely.
that's because everybody loves prizes.
Sure. Everybody likes to win,
Hmm. You
right?
bet.
And I thought this one was kind of interesting, Jim, is a
Okay.
new product suggestion contest.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so if you are an industry that has a product line, and but you have no idea what you want to do, let your customers give you some ideas.
Mm.
Run a contest and ask for suggestions about a new product. Then give a prize to the person who comes up with the best idea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, in naming that new product, that'd be another good one, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because now you have buy-in from your customers.
Hmm.
You have buy-in from the people who work with you. And then here's the other thing. So within that idea, you can have that department that would be uh, putting that contest together. The person who gets the most feedback also wins.
Hmm. Absolutely. And when it comes to running contests, you want to make it fun, you want to make it relevant, you want to make sure that people are engaged. And another way that you can get people involved, and you've already seen this, and that is a contest for a photo contest.
Oh yeah.
I kind of believe they're a little bit overdone, you know, and you see photos where give this photo a caption or a name or something like that,
Right.
but a lot of people find it fun. They really do. And then you could also promote it to where, okay, these were the top three. Now we're going to vote which one is which one do you like the best out of these three here. So there's
Right.
several ways you can do that, but the main thing is get people engaged and get them to know you, because that's what uh, social media is about. Because if people do not know you, they cannot like you, they cannot trust you, and they don't want to be around you or follow you or anything.
That is absolutely 100% correct. And letting your followers get to
Mhm.
know the team is a
Oh
big
yeah.
one.
Oh
That's
yeah.
huge.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, we blindly follow, if you will. We don't know who's back there. We don't know who's creating it. So, bring those people to the forefront and let
Mhm.
them connect. Let them see a face and a name. And if, people don't want to use their last name for anonymity reasons, that's fine.
Mhm. Sure is. Yeah, and it really makes a difference when you get others involved because people like to become involved. You take, for example, oh, this here's a good one. I mean, this is just one that came to my head, and that is, ask people for their opinion. People love to give you their opinion. And
Absolutely.
that opinion can be on anything. Just say, I've been thinking about doing this, and I've also been thinking about that.
Hmm.
I'd like to get some feedback from you. Which one do you, by knowing me and what I do, and I'm kind of like at a torn cost here, would you give me some feedback? Would you help me out?
Right.
Because many times you'll get a better answer than you could ever come up with.
Absolutely true.
Mhm.
Absolutely true, Jim. And I think, you know, the having contests within your followers and your customers
Mhm.
is so super important. But I think before you start in that, you have to have the complete total buy-in from the people who work with you.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so a really fun way to do that would be, a department um, has two truths and one lie. Now, if you watch
Mm.
Jim and I several weeks back, we did this and it was a blast. But here's the caveat. So you have a department, say there's 20 people in that department. Well, the manager of that department is the only one who knows who is the two truths and one lie.
Mhm.
Everybody else has to guess
Mhm.
who that belongs to. And the person who has the most guesses wins
Mhm.
and they
Yeah.
win a prize. I mean,
Yeah.
that gets everybody involved. It
Oh,
it breathes so much life into the atmosphere
yeah. Yeah.
and breaks out of the doldrum. And then,
Mhm.
you could even jazz it up and have a little small catered lunch or something come in or some snacks
Mhm.
of some kind
Oh, yeah.
and really make it a fun time for the
Oh,
people
yeah.
who are there day in, day out,
Mhm.
working for the betterment of all.
Oh, yeah. And that also works very well on the virtual stage with social media, the two truths and one lie, because you could have a field day with that, just an
Right?
absolute field day. It's a fun game. And a lot of people have told me since I've opened that, the door and shared that with them, that they really enjoyed it. And we started out back, 25, 30 years ago when I was still in the reserves. We used to do the 10-question list for all of our students that came into the class. I was an instructor in the Army Reserves. And we would collect them up, and then we would, okay, who is this person? Number one, like living or dead, who would you like to have a conversation with and why? And they might say, my dad. Why? Okay, da 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 da. Okay. And we go through all 10 questions, and then we would hold a contest to where we would ask people, okay, who is this person? Well, I think it's that person, or I think it's
Right.
this person. And the only person who knows, there's two people in that room that know, the person filling out that questionnaire and the person's reading the questionnaire, which would be the
Right.
instructor. So we put down a tick, who's right and who's wrong and that sort of thing. That's another
So
fun
fun.
way. Yeah, yeah. And especially when, they get creative in their answers, like,
Hmm.
what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Go
have to
ahead.
take the fifth on that because
Yeah.
I can't talk about that on TV.
What's the second craziest thing you've ever done? That was a rhetorical question, Donna. That was just an
Well,
example.
actually, probably I would say one of the craziest things I ever done. I had a Ford Maverick back in the day, three on the
Mm.
tree, And
Yeah.
if you know anything about three on the trees, they usually have great power in first and second gear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Third gear kind of peters out, right?
Hmm.
And I raced a train. The train's coming this way, right? And the railroad tracks, of course, are right here. And I went, I wonder if I can, yeah, let's do it. Boom.
Mercy.
Yeah, I think I was about 17 when I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that three on the tree because my dad had a 59 Chevy and I never will forget that car. It had the 283 V8 and it had a very nice whine to that engine. But I saw him, he'd pull out, get up about 25 or 30 in first and put it up second, step down on it. And I mean, that thing just, you couldn't wind it out in second
Right,
gear. It just
right.
kept going, kept going, kept going. And it's just really amazing. Three on the tree for you folks out there that don't know what we're talking about. That's a 3-speed transmission on the steering wheel column.
Right.
You go over here for low and then up and for a second,
Up
and then straight
and
down for
third,
high, and then in
up for
neutral,
reverse.
up and yeah. And they had a thing in the flowboard called a clutch. And you know what? To this day, I still wish, now this is old school and this is off subject, but this is one of those nicety to knows. I still wish they had put the dimmer switch and kept it in the flowboard.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Because you can move your left foot, click it, right, dim, that sort of thing. But when it's on where it is now, you got to, you got your hands there. Your hand should be on the steering wheel. They shouldn't be fiddling with the volume on the radio. I don't care what anybody says or anything else because that's a distraction. It really shouldn't.
Jim
And
won't ride with me in the car while I'm driving, folks.
yeah. Well, only if I have a helmet, and
Knee
because
pads, bubble
yeah,
wrap.
yeah, wearing a crucifix around my neck. And she likes to get on it. She really does. She doesn't have to wash her car. She just sprays water on it, and goes down the road, and it cleans itself.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, we're getting way off track here. I have a lot of fun. But a trivia contest is also a good one.
Right.
Especially trivia about, your product, your company, or yourself, or just trivia in general, whatever you want to run a contest. I mean, the canvas, as the old saying goes, it is as broad as it is long, and it's a clean canvas. You can paint it any way you want to.
Right. And there's another way you can do a contest.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a product line and you're, obviously customer based, have your customers send in pictures of their most unusual use for that product.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right there because it's really amazing. And
well, you would find as the production portion of it, maybe some things you don't know. That, oh my gosh, I made it for this purpose, right? It was originally made for this purpose, but now it can be used in 4 or 5 different ways that they never thought of. So by doing that, you can then put that into your business.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You are so correct on that. And, it's really amazing how you talk about, the different ideas out there. There's, of course, photo contests. We talked about that. There's video contests and things, and trivia contests we just mentioned. But the guessing game, the guessing game, one of the things that they've done is fill a jar with jelly beans.
Those are fun.
Yeah, yeah. And it's amazing how many jelly beans you get in a jar.
Right.
And I was going to ask Donna, if you know how many jelly beans you get in a quart jar?
Well, I guess I would have to first ask you what size jelly beans you're going to put in there.
The standard size. Doesn't really matter. It's still a peck of jelly beans.
Right. You'd get about a quart full.
Yeah, that's right. A peck of jelly beans give you a quart full. But there are contests where people, and you could do that with a photo or whatever and have a lot of fun. It just makes sure anything that your contest it is legit across the way.
Right.
It really is. That's very important. And another thing you can do is fill in the blank contest. Oh my goodness.
Those are fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can have a field day with those. Fill in the blank contest. And it's just amazing because you might remember Mad Libs from that when you were a kid. Those were stories that included blanks for certain words, and people asked their friends to fill in the blanks without giving them any context. And then they'd read the story later on with sometimes hilarious reactions. It turned something like that into a contest, and give people a sentence with a blank in it and ask them to fill in the blank, and then deliver a prize to the person with the most creative response, and let the people who are involved in that do the choosing, not you.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that encourages involvement, because that's what it's all about, getting people involved.
Right. Getting them to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
Key words right there,
Yeah.
folks.
Mm-hmm.
Key words. So, Jim, what about this one? A cross-platform contest.
Okay.
So if you want to boost your presence on either social media account, run a cross-platform contest. Here's how it would work.
Mm-hmm.
Ask people on one social media channel to follow your account on another social media channel. So the example is ask that person on Facebook to follow you on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Then ask them to post their username on the other social site so you can verify that they are indeed following you. You pick a winner randomly from the people who recently followed the other account. So you just put all their names in a little jar and then pick a name and then give them a prize. Make a big deal about it on both or however many social media platforms you have. Make a big deal about the person who won.
Oh, yeah. And make sure when you give out a prize, make sure it isn't something that, you're not going to give out a, very expensive prize, but make sure it's not anything cheesy, and do your homework, because there's a lot of companies out there that have free gifts. There's a lot of people who have free programs and stuff.
Right.
Make it a package deal. Make it something of tremendous value. Make it well worth their time is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Because it's a win-win situation. You're promoting them, they're promoting you, and everybody, it's a win-win-win situation. So just think outside the box.
Right.
That's why we don't make decisions here.
Right. And and I think it's important when you do that, when you're doing it for your customers, make sure you are doing a contest again for the people who are in there every day in the trenches with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
because they want to feel involved. They want to win. They want to, boost morale. I'm telling you, folks, that is one of the best ways to get morale boosted in a workplace.
Yes, it is. For people to feel productive. No,
Right.
Even though it's a little game, at least they're involved.
Right.
At least they're involved. And I'll tell you.
Again, it breaks the monotony of the everyday humdrums.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the things that we all love is our pets. Oh, my goodness. A pet-related contest.
Right.
Almost everyone loves dogs and, with cats, whatever. But use that to take an advantage with a pet-related contest. Just ask people to submit photos of their dogs, then go through the entries and give a prize to the person who submitted the best photo. And that people really love to, I would show a picture of my pet more so than my kids. To people. Don't tell them I said that, but I'm just, because your
I
pet,
will not tell Lisa or James that at all.
Thank you. That's mighty Christian of you. No, but I just, I don't even think about sending out a cute picture of Tigger or something like that. If, or if Evelyn sends me one, I might fire it. And don't even think about it,
Right.
But, if I see a picture of my son, oh, that's nice. Or my daughter, that's nice, But as far as sending it out, hey, it's my daughter, here's my son, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Am I weird or is that normal?
Okay, so anyway, folks,
Meanwhile, back at the ranch is what she's saying.
well, I wish I could have. Speaking of that, I wish this morning I could have gotten a picture of it. So if you've watched our show much at all, y'all know that my husband and I have four kittens. They're just getting ready to turn a year old. We have 3 females who are blood sisters, and then we have 1 male who is not blood, different litter. That boy, Bullet, we named him extremely appropriate because he's as fast as a bullet. He just, whatever he goes for, he gets into. I am in my bathroom getting ready this morning, and he's got a wild hair sideways, if y'all know what I mean. And that little rat just came and he jumps vertical straight up on the doorway. I'm 5'6", jumps right to here. So that's about 5 foot. Just jumps up on the door frame and just hangs there and looks at me, jumps down, runs off, comes back, does it 3 more times.
Yeah. And Dixie's the same way. When I get a kick out of her, she'll run ahead of me. She'll jump up on the door and hang on there and look at me with those ears laid back like a wild thing. I'm going like, yeah, that's hello to you too, Dixie. I love you.
Right? No more catnip for you.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that catnip got a little fermented. We've had it too long. It's a little fermented, Oh, goodness. But, we all love our pets and stuff like that. And just have, if you have a place where people get together, be sure and invite their pets with them, on a day or something. That'd be great. It really would be,
Right.
Come and pick up your check and bring us and show us your pet too, on payday or something. That'd be fun to do because when I had my manufacturing business, every other Friday was a payday. And I gave my guys a lot of flexibility there because if they wanted to leave early, all they had to do was schedule it.
Right.
And they would do this on their own. I'd have guys come at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, be running material and, cranking out stuff just so they could get off at 1 in the afternoon. Right. Or they may want to come in and work like that for 2 or 3 days real early and work late and then take off an extra day or 2,
Right.
So I asked, because the way I looked at it, as long as the stuff gets done, I don't care about the process. I'm focused on the content. And the content is always what? It's quality. And that's in not only in product, it's in people, it's in leadership, it's in everything.
Well, and that's a really important point, Jim. Thank you for bringing that up because I think, and you always word it best, but we get lost in the day-to-day things, owning business at times, that we forget, we get lost in the process, that we forget that people have things that they want to do with their kids or what have you. And that, let's be honest, without the people working for us, we wouldn't be where we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because what I say a lot of the times, you get caught up in the process and lose focus of the content. And I also forgot that on payday, on Friday, they would come in. And of course, they knew if you want to be, take off early on payday morning, on Friday morning, every other Friday they got paid. You come in, I want the shop swept. I want to make sure all the tools are in place. And if they want to do that Thursday night and come in on Friday and pick up their check, it just means they left an hour and a half earlier. But the end result was it was done to my standard because when I'd walk out there and everything is done, the floor is swept in my shop. I go into the tool room, all the tools are there, everything in its place. Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah. And plus it also, lets you know if something's missing, I mean, not stolen, but misplaced or something. It's a great way because even in my garage with that brilliant idea, I'm telling you one of the things, ladies and gentlemen, just really gets to me. And that is when I'm going to do something and I need a specific tool, And I look and I search and I look and I search and I spend more time looking for the tool than it does to do the job.
Right?
So I need to practice what I preached at work. It's one of those deals because we all need to practice what we preach, don't we?
We do. We do. I've had to educate my husband where things go in the kitchen when he empties the dishwasher for me. No, dear, it doesn't go there. Well,
Uh-huh.
but it fits. Yeah, but it doesn't go there. So when I'm cooking and I go to reach for it, even if it's under the shelf underneath it, that's not where I'm looking for
Hmm.
it.
I thought a dishwasher was a recycling center. You pull it out, reuse it, and then put it back in the sink, put it back in the dishwasher. Save a lot of
Well,
cabinet space that way.
we always say if we have something that our dog can lick the plate,
Mhm.
we say, well, the pre-rinse is done for the dishwasher.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is another thing that you can do. You may have a mascot for your company, or you may not. You could actually pick a mascot and have a contest to give you the name of the mascot. If your
Yes,
company is getting a mascot or if you're going to create one, let your followers pick the name. In
right.
fact, turn the name picking process into a contest and post a photo of the mascot and ask people to pick a name. Give a prize to the person whose name that you choose. And if you don't know which
Absolutely.
one to choose, if it's two or three, just say, "This is my top three.
Right.
Help me choose the best one." And then just go from there. That'd be a fun thing to do, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Yeah. There's
Now
people
here's
that do. Let me say
good.
this, Donna, before you start. There's people in dog clubs that I guess got a new puppy. How about give me a name, or help me out with a name or something? See, that is brilliant because I mean they always get hundreds of
Right.
comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now
Mhm.
I like this one for the office. Is
Okay.
that when you have a contest, say you know that you've got something coming up, however it works best for what kind of business you do, but
Hmm.
a contest that is an idea contest. How to
Hmm.
implement. So say you have a new product coming out. Have an idea within your people who work for you, a contest on the idea to best implement it into the process you already have.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh my
boy, that's a
goodness.
big buy-in right there, folks.
It sure is. Yeah, because
That's a big,
people love to get involved in stuff. And because think of the challenge that they would enjoy if they came up with the winning answer, the winning idea. My
right.
goodness. Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, and another fun one that you could do with your business, and I'm not sure how well this would uh, work for social media, but it's just talked about in the site that we looked at. Spot the difference contest. Find a
Mm.
find a photo that has a lot going on. In other words, look for a picture with plenty of detail in it. Then make a copy of the photo, use Adobe Photoshop or some other type of software, and edit the copy. Change
Mhm.
some minor detail within the picture. So, what I would do, were me, I would do that for my department. And I would say, okay, guys, we're going to have this contest. Now,
Hmm.
you cannot use your phones, you cannot take a picture of it. I'm going to put this up, and you've got exactly from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. noon to look at this photo. And then it comes
Mhm.
down. And
Yeah.
then you're all going to get a copy of it tomorrow, and you have to spot the difference.
Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube. He has Mr. Balkan, Balkan, I guess it is, Balken. He tells, different stories and stuff like that. He's a great storyteller. But on every video, he has something in the background of that video. And he says, and it's usually about halfway through, and people have to, give them the exact time and identify what was on that video for them to be a winner. And I don't watch things that closely, but one of the things that I've done before, and just in a contest, not in a contest, but I just talking to people, you know, tell me how I'm different today,
Right.
as speaking, and you know, what I did, I changed my rings. I put my Vietnam veteran, the service ring here, and this the diamond over here. Whereas normally it's vice versa. And
Right.
people are all looking at your shoes and they're looking at whatever, but just do something like that. And you could do that on a video. Say
Right.
on this video, I'm going to do something different than I have on my previous videos. And I'd like for you to share with me if you spot that difference.
Right.
And just little things like that. Get creative, make it
And
fun.
fun title when you do that, not the
Mm,
average Joe Blow title.
right, right.
Creatively fun because that's going to capture your people who follow you. That's going to capture their attention.
Hmm. It sure will. And Donna, we haven't got into the one that we really like because Donna and I, we both love this game here. It's called Eat, Drink, and Be Merry. No, it's a scavenger hunt.
Oh,
Oh,
those are some of my absolute favorites.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that would be hard to do to post it out there, for people in social media world, but man, would that be fun to do at the office,
Mm.
Jim,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because scavenger hunts, my goodness gracious. I mean, the sky is the limit on those things.
right?
Goodness gracious. I mean, but you could also do it with social media. You could say, at this site here, a virtual scavenger hunt. I mean, goodness, there are actually Scavify, Scavify, is a scavenger hunt application. You could get a lot of great information there
Right?
and create a scavenger hunt that's applicable to you, your product, your brand, whatever it is that you're doing. Because people, like, well, what's that one? Where's Nemo or whatever? That's
Waldo.
a
There's
Waldo.
Waldo.
Waldo, yeah, Waldo. I never did get into that, obviously, but I mean, that is a fun one. She's laughing at me again. What can I say? Well, I did follow Dora the Explorer.
Okay, Jim.
At least I got that right, But
Oh,
where's Waldo? Yeah, that's a fun one too because there's a lot of things you can do there because people love scavenger hunts and people love mysteries.
right.
Oh
And
gosh.
it would take more work to do that online, which would be
Mhm.
a
Sure.
hoot. But
Hmm.
you can do it in your office. And were it me,
Hmm.
it couldn't be anything work related that I had on the scavenger list. So it would be like a lime flavored lifesaver.
Mm.
Make it so it's stuff that people have in their desk or that they have in their purse or their backpack or what have you. And
Hmm.
that would make it really, really fun.
Hmm. It sure would. It really would because people they love to go on hunts, scavenger hunts, mysteries, anything like that, and just
Yeah.
make sure you could tweak it and squeak it. And I mentioned that one website there. Let's see, I think it was
Scavify?
here we, yeah, Scavify. It's a scavenger hunt application. It's got photos, videos, trivia, QR codes, surveys, auto scoring, leadership, social photo stream, build online, turnkey hunts, and lunch in minutes. Launch in minutes, yeah. And that'd be a fun thing to look at. And I'm sure there's other apps out there for scavenger hunts, specifically for the online virtual world, because the virtual world has just expanded exponentially since
Right,
2020, compliments of the COVID virus.
right. Well, and here's the thing. Some of these ideas that we're sharing with you today, folks, they're great at work.
Hmm.
Absolutely a ball. And they're great for your customers. But
Hmm.
Jim, do you know where else they'd be fun?
Okay.
At home with your kids.
Yes, that's what I thought you was going to say.
All ages. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm old school. So when my kids had birthdays, depending on I had 2 in November, so that was kind of out for a water balloon fight in Ohio.
Hmm.
But But I have one child who was born in May, and we would have, water balloon fights,
Mm.
and it was so much fun. We'd do scavenger hunts. We would do all those, what, are considered today old school. But let me tell you what, that is some of the best laughter. And that was the best reward in the world for me, was to hear
Mhm.
my children and their friends laugh and have an immensely great time. And the same holds true today.
Mm. Really does, And I'm just looking through here on some ideas on the scavenger hunt, things to do while you're online. And there's just a bunch of them here. I'm just going to name a few. Word hunts. You can do a word theme hunt and have people find items that represent specific words.
Or make it specific to your brand.
Yes, exactly. And you can do alphabet soup, have the players find an item based on a letter of the alphabet. This can be as much fun as the entire game on its own, it says. And screen sharing, find a screenshot or a screen capture on the computer or phone, share it with everyone. The older, the better. Now, please keep in mind here, one of the things that Donna and I are doing here, we're sharing some ideas with you, but we're also encouraging you for you to use your own mind, your own imagination, and be creative, because that is one of your gifts. Whether you believe it or not, you have the ability to be you. Just
Absolutely.
be you. Mm. So many people in this world, they want to, be like someone else. And that's a dead end street, because
That's no fun because they're not
oh,
you.
yeah. And it cripples your lifestyle. And you're always looking how to, you know, be somebody. You
Right.
are somebody, don't ever forget that.
Absolutely. Why be a copy, folks, when you can be an original?
There you go. There you go. What Donna said. But Donna, when it comes to figuring out things to do on the internet and social media and how to get people involved, you know, if you know your audience, it's easier to perform. And
Right.
because it's, if you're like our good friend Marty Haggard, if he's in front of his audience, it's a lot easier for him to perform his songs, because he's in front of an audience that appreciates his dad's music and his music.
Right.
And whenever someone, when you know your audience and they know you, it's a lot easier for you to be able to create contests and games
Right.
that will
Because you have that
trigger.
energy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And this makes life more fun. It really does.
Well, Jim and I've talked about this before. Jim, how much do we believe in having fun and laughter?
Oh, we have to do it all the time, but I hate doing it myself.
We do this every day. We were before we came on air, folks. We were just messing around, taking ourselves off screen, and like that. Well, so I took myself off screen, and I went to take Jim off screen, and I removed him.
I mean, I got kicked out of the studio.
I did.
I was out in the back alley.
I kicked him completely out of the studio,
Yeah.
and
I
he
had to
came
show my
back in.
card to get back in, my pass card.
He came back in, and all I was doing was laughing. And he's like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "I accidentally removed you."
Yeah. And she just thought it was the most hilarious thing to see me go.
Well, you're lucky I just didn't say bye.
Donna took us both backstage there for a second, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you.
Oh,
And you know what? She hasn't nipped at the holy wine or anything, I mean,
no, I'm drinking coffee still.
that's right. And it's not fermented yet either.
That was mean. That was mean. Oh,
I didn't
Lord.
mean it to be mean. It just kind of boomeranged from the back of my
Well,
head
it
out to
was
the
right
front
when I was
gum.
getting ready to swallow that big swig of coffee, and I thought, oh, this isn't going to be good when it comes up through my nose.
Yeah, it'd go right through her nostrils, you
Right?
know.
That's going to leave a burn.
Oh goodness,
Oh, goodness. That's
I
too
tell
much
you.
fun. But the whole point of today, folks, getting back to, off our silliness, is creating an atmosphere that is fun.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
creating contests always means fun for your
Hmm.
audience, for your customers, and for the people who are in the trenches working for the same goal with you each and every
Mm.
day.
Yeah.
And you
And
don't have to have a big office full of people to do it. You can be a
no,
real small company and do it.
absolutely. And you know what? If you start a little social game of you and just a few close friends, and you just want to start doing some positive posting and reaching out to people on your friend list, because let's be honest, we got friends on our friends list. We wouldn't know if they came up to the front door and rang the doorbell,
Right?
you know, but sending out nice messages, hope you and your loved ones are healthy and happy, and blessed in all areas of your life. That is a very good, nice saying. It's very sincere, and start a challenge on sending out good, positive messages. I mean, we've had ice bucket things and all this stuff, but what about a good challenge of sharing love and
Right?
positive messages from the heart to people that we just, don't normally communicate with,
Right.
and let them
Right.
know that they matter. And I mean, that'd be a great challenge to start, it
That
really
would
would.
be. That really would be because, I think today, Jim, more than any other time I can remember in
Oh,
my
yeah.
life, we need more love.
Yeah. I've never seen so much hate, evilness, wickedness, and
No,
just, division.
right. That's the perfect word there
That's
is
the,
division.
yeah,
And
it's,
and and when there's, I was telling one of my children the other day, sweetheart, love and hate can't live in the same space.
no way. They come
Think
from
about
two
that for
different worlds.
think about that for a minute, folks.
Yeah.
They cannot they can't live in the same space. One has to oversee the other.
Mhm.
So it's up to you which one you want to let in,
And actually, hate hates love
right?
because it disarms it. It's more
Oh,
because love is so
absolutely.
much more powerful than hate. It really is. Hate is just it's just
Hate kills.
self-consuming. Yeah, and it kills, and it's like a fire that's burning. Sooner or later, it's going to run out of combustible material to burn, and then it's going to go out.
Hmm.
But love is like oxygen. Love is like the sunlight. It's not going to go anywhere.
No,
It's there.
love
And
is eternal.
yeah, and I think we ought to, just I don't know how that came up, how it came to my mind or whatever, but I think we ought to, start a challenge, 10 a day challenge, send out 10 messages. And, to people that you don't normally communicate with, messages of, love and hope.
Right.
Really, I mean, if you got a message from someone that you didn't normally correspond with, and they said to you, "Hey, just thinking of you. Hope you have a blessed day. Hope you and your loved ones are healthy and happy." I mean, how would that make you feel?
Right.
Think about that. Would that be a wonderful thing? And just say, I'm
Absolutely.
answering the 10 a day challenge for 1 week. That's 70 people.
Right.
Think about how if you guys want to like to play with money and numbers, play with that one there.
Right.
Yeah, 70
And
people a week.
and there's something to that, Jim.
Hmm.
When we reach out to our customers as business owners,
Hmm.
I don't think most of us uh, reach out and thank them as often as we should.
Oh, yeah,
Because without our customers, where are we, folks?
that's right. Just like us here on TV, without our followers, what are we doing here?
Right?
Entertaining
Talking
each
to each
other.
other,
Yeah, that would be it in a nutshell.
right?
And then we get a call from the senior in the head shed, Mr. Aaron Hymus, and he'd say, Jim, what are you guys doing now so different? I don't know. We've been having fun.
We're entertaining each other.
That's right. That's right. But no, sincerely, thank people who, because I think every show, Donna, we normally thank people for the viewing in and all that, because
Absolutely.
Without you folks out there in TV land, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And that really keeps our ego and everything like that in check, because people, in everything you do, it's always the message. It's always something that comes from the heart. You just happen to be the servant serving that. That's it.
Yep, it's
Plain
that
and
old
simple.
thing. It's the message, not the messenger.
Yes, you're exactly right. And I think I've said before, and I know you've heard this before, Donna, that the guy I know that, well, he says, wanted to start his own podcast. This was after I'd reached about 2 million downloads on my podcast. We're now over 6, and Bill and I are taking it and getting ready to get back up and get it going again. But he says, what advice would you give me? And this guy's got an ego the size of Mount Everest. And I said, well, my best advice to you before you even start is to go on eBay, put your ego up for sale, and do not leave there until you get your money's worth. Well, I think I insulted His Royal Highness, but I mean, no one wants to listen to someone that just talks about themselves all the time.
Right.
Not at all. I know we used to have people come on the show when we were doing the guest interviews, and a couple of times I had to tell 2 guys, and specifically, this is not a sales pitch presentation. This is about people getting to know you, like you, and trust you, and then going there. And the one guy said, it was on the radio show. Excuse me. He says, I disagree with you. And I said, when's the last time that you turned on your radio or you picked up your remote on your TV and went searching for sales pitches?
Right.
But, he knew the answer to that. But in his case, he's kind of like, well, I'm different. I'm special. You are different. You are special. But no one wants to see your ego on display. No one does.
There's a difference between telling about your journey and who you are, so that people can understand and connect with you emotionally. But then it isn't all about you. So then once you explain that, then it goes into, this is why I did this, so I could be a benefit to others and help them in their time. That's different. Yeah. That is very different than just talking about yourself 100% of the time.
Yeah, because Donna and I we've been invited to be on it's an international show, and we're going to be speaking there. And my topic is going to be public speaking. And I am not going to say, hey, I'm Jim Grant, I'm a TV host, I'm blah, 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 right? Because that's what it's going to sound to people out there. And I'm going to start out with something like, have you ever heard the word glossophobia?
Right.
Do you know what that means? Glosso means the tongue. We know what a phobia is. So glossophobia means the fear of public speaking. And I'm going to share with you today how three proven ways how I overcame the crippling fear of public speaking.
Right.
And I'll go into the presentation. Then about 2/3 of the way through, I'm going to say, well, I'm Jim Grant, and that sort of thing. But
we
that's
both
going to be
do it the same way.
Yes, we do. Because if I start out, I'm Jim Grant, I'm a public speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm a producer and TV host, radio host, you go like, well, so what? So what? Yeah, amen. Give yourself a hand. So what?
Who cares?
Amen. Yeah.
And now you have been completely tuned out.
Yes. And if you're trying to do a sales presentation or try to get someone interested in one of your products, just read it and just say, okay, so what's in it for the person that's reading or listening to this information? It's easy for us to talk about it, right?
Right.
But can we make it interesting? Can we make it where it's applicable, where a person would go, that sounds interesting? Because
Right.
if I start out with that glossophobia, have you ever heard the word glossophobia? They're at least gonna tune in. They say, what is glossophobia? I never heard of it before. And I guess
Right.
they gotta, what's really amazing. I'm getting a little bit off track here, which is normal for me. But you know what's amazing, Donna? They have a phobia for everything. I bet you they got a phobia for butterflies.
Right.
You phobia of sunlight. They've actually got a phobia for sunlight too. Can you believe that? I'm afraid of the sun. I can
If there's a
understand that.
phobia for butterflies, I think it'd be called phobafly. You're welcome.
I had that coming. Let me open my mouth, put my big foot in there.
Phobafly.
Yeah, the batting in them wings almost drive me crazy. She's gonna be down for the count in a minute. 1, 2. You okay, Donna? You need an oxygen mask or anything?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good. I'm sorry.
I'm fine.
That was funny.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Folks, we've had a lot of fun with you today.
We
We've
have.
hoped that we've encouraged you to look for creative ways to get people involved in a fun way.
Right.
And whatever it is, it could,
Right. Within
could-
your business and your customers as well.
yeah, exactly.
Because both
yeah.
are equally as important. And
Yeah.
we wouldn't be where we are today without each
Mhm.
one of them.
Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it, because people are dependent upon you and they want to know, like, and trust you. And they also want to enjoy being in your presence. So give them a reason, even if it's virtually, to be in your presence and have some fun, because, a scavenger hunt. I love that. I got to do some things with it. I got to. I got the itch.
You got the scabby itch.
There you go. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. We'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday. We're looking forward to being with you again. We hope and pray that you and your loved ones are blessed in all areas of your life, and we hope that you're healthy and you're happy and you're blessed with love and abundance of the blessings of life. And Donna, I just tell you, it's really a privilege for us to be here, isn't it?
It really is, Jim. We look forward to this every single day.
We do. We do. And thank you, folks, for making our show successful. We just, when we say thank you, it seems like it's so inadequate, but I don't know how else to say it except in the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.